Hello sweet team, welcome back to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele. I am super duper excited to be sharing with you all my homemade spring roll and samosa wrap recipe. So let's get right into it. In a bowl, I'm going to add 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, I'll add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and some salt. Mix very well and create a well in the middle of it. I'll then begin adding my water little by little until a dough begins to form. You can use your hands for this process. I just don't like the feel of wet dough when you're beginning to add water, so I choose to use my spatula. So once you see it's nice and doughy like this, you want to begin kneading it into a nice stiff dough. And you want the dough to be very nice and smooth, okay? As smooth as you can get it. Then I'm going to cover it up and allow it to rest for about 20 minutes for the gluten to relax, just like this. Now I'll transfer it onto my work surface and I'll divide this into about 8 pieces. Now I'm going to go ahead to press each one to flatten it and set it aside. Then you want to flour your work surface and begin rolling out your dough. Okay, we want to roll them out into as equal sizes as possible. Now I'm going to roll 2 of them a bit wider than the rest, and I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. Once everything is done, we want to begin oiling the surface of our dough, and you want to oil the entire surface of it. You don't want to leave any spot because we are going to be creating layers, and this is what will prevent our dough from sticking. So once you oil it, you want to go ahead and flour it. Then you put the next layer and repeat the process until you've used up all your dough. You don't have to add oil to the top of this. You just flour it and begin rolling. Whenever you're rolling this dough out, the bottom tends to shrink while the top part widens. Now, because we'll be flipping it over as we roll, making the top and bottom a bit wider than the ones in the middle helps you get as equal sheets as possible. So that's why I roll them out that way. Meanwhile, I'm heating up my griddle at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And you want to roll this to the size of your pan or griddle, whatever it is that you're using, or baking sheets if you want to do this in the oven, because you can, okay? The more you roll out your dough, the thinner your spring roll or samosa wrap will be. So bear that in mind. We'll now transfer it into our griddle, cover it up to trap all the moisture in there, but we want to keep an eye on it. The minute it begins to puff up, we want to flip it over and cover it back up. Then keeping an eye on it again, it puffs up, but I don't think you saw it, and this is exactly what you're looking for. It's ready now, so we'll transfer it onto our work surface and begin separating it. You want to be extra careful separating it. You don't want to do it too quickly or you'll rip it apart, and this is what I'm saying. If you roll it out too thin, it will be so thin you may just tear it up. So yeah. When you first try this, it might not be as easy, but don't give up. It will be just fine. The more you do it, the better you become at it. And a very big shout out to my big sissy, Pretty Nadu, for sending me this grill. It worked perfectly for this. I really appreciate you so much. Thank you for everything you do to keep this channel growing. Always cover your wraps with a clean kitchen towel to keep it from drying out. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and shape my samosa wraps, okay? So I'm just trimming the sides off because I don't need that. That will just give you a headache. Then I'll cut it in my desired size. And to fold, you first want to fold it into a triangular shape like this. Then with your index finger holding it down, you fold it again, ensuring that the bottom part is sealed. You then add your filling and continue folding until it is done and ready for frying. Depending on the width of your sheets, you can fold this over onto itself twice to get 3 samosa wraps. Alright, so when I fold it over onto itself like this, I then go ahead and press it down to form a line. Okay, so this line is what is going to be my guide in cutting it to get a nice clean cut. For the spring rolls, you want to trim the sides. And then again, I'm going to fold it over, press it down to create a line, and then go ahead and cut it down the line. And you repeat the process for both the samosa and the spring roll wrap until everything is done. So we are all done with the first method. For our next method, we will be using the same dough, but this time I'll be rolling it out in a circle because we'll be making this right on our stove top, and our fry pan is obviously round, and it's always better to roll your dough in the shape of whatever vessel it is that you're using. Now when putting this in the oven, you set it at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, preheat the oven and then put it in. I think that is too much of a waste of your energy, so I like these 2 methods the most. I'll now transfer it into my fry pan, and it is on medium high, and you want to keep an eye on this. The moment you see it beginning to puff up like this, you want to flip it over. As you can see, it's beginning to separate already, so I'll transfer this onto my work surface and begin separating the layers. So you just want to take your time in separating it. If you do it too quickly, you may rip it and your hard work will be wasted. So here we go, just beautiful. Don't forget to cover it with a clean kitchen towel to keep it from drying out. Then we're just going to trim the edges because they're always a bit thicker, and you don't want that. When rolling your spring rolls, it will be a headache if that is there. And roll your round one if that's the shape you prefer, or you can easily cut this into squares. And you can also cut this into samosa wraps as well. So it's a win-win situation. Whichever way you like it, go right ahead and do it. Now, what are we gonna do with these pieces? Toss them? No, not in Sweet Ajele's kitchen. So once everything is nicely cut up, you know what comes next. Yes, I'm going to fry them and make some fried noodles, just like you get from the Chinese restaurant. Yes, very simple, very easy, and also crunchy. My kids and I, we really enjoyed this. So don't let the pieces go to waste. Don't toss them, fry them, enjoy them, just like I did. Now to our third and final method. Again, you add your flour, cornstarch, and your salt. Mix well, and we're going to begin adding our water to this. Now this one is a more runny texture. We're not going to be rolling this one out, so the texture of this dough is going to be like Dubai puff puff. Yes, so I add my water again little by little until I have reached my desired texture. Now you can store this in your freezer for up to 6 months, and what I usually do is to put parchment paper in between each layer so they don't stick together, but for the most part I make just what I need and I use it all up. This is the perfect consistency that I'm going for. So now I'm just going to clean my spatula and the sides of my bowl, cover it up and keep it in my refrigerator overnight because I'm making this at night. But if you're making it the same day, you can keep it in your refrigerator for about an hour or two, or in the freezer for about 30 minutes to an hour. So I'm just going to go ahead and wash my hands very well because we are about to get messy. Just look at this beautiful texture. The gluten have relaxed nicely and our dough is nice and soft. It's just super cold so that when we are using the top of this griddle, we do not burn ourselves because we're working over high heat. We'll be making this over medium high heat and we do not want to burn ourselves, so you need this to be nice and cold. So once you scoop it, you want to throw and catch, this throw catch motion. You don't want to throw it away, you just want to smoothen it a bit and then you spread it over your griddle and then pick up the rest, smoothing the top up and wait for the sides to begin to get white. When that happens, it'll begin to lift just like this and then you can just easily pick it up off the griddle and set it aside. And we just repeat the process until we've done it all. Alright, so this one is quite easy. I learned this on my trip to Ghana and they were trying to make me a griddle to bring back, but they didn't finish before I left and it has been hectic trying to find the right one. Either it is non-stick and the dough will not stick, or it sticks and it will not lift. It's just crazy. And when smoothing it over this, you want to be very careful and do it the right way. Otherwise, if it forms pore-like holes in it while frying your spring rolls, the filling may ooze out and you will not have such a clean spring roll. Okay, and this is the motion that I'm trying to show you all. I hope you caught it. I don't know, maybe I didn't capture it well, but I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing this until everything is done. When I have just a little bit of dough left in my palm, I try to bring it to the tip of my fingers and spread it out that way because I do not want to waste anything. But at this time the dough is warm, so you want to be careful that you do not burn yourself. At the end of the day, if you can find the wraps already made, you could buy them and all you have to make is your filling. But hey, have fun in your kitchen. You do not want to just buy everything and make everything easy. Tole few and then gaining few. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give your girl a thumbs up. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele. Thank you so much for subscribing. And to the sweet team, y'all know I love you. Until I see you in my next video, stay safe, keep loving each other, and remember that the love of family is life's greatest blessing. And guys, ke unamini uchemi sweet mahabotu. Bye y'all.